Welcome, everybody. I trust that you're doing well. We bless the Lord for another wonderful time that He's given us. I trust that as we get into the subject matter today, your life will never be the same again. All right. Welcome. There are truths that are indeed hidden in plain sight. We're going to listen to Senator Bernie Sanders and his campaign against the dangers of AI. We're going to be listening to that in two parts. All right, so we're going to take this in two parts. We're going to listen firstly to him as he spells out the dangers of artificial intelligence. The reason for this program is to let us be aware of how we are drifting slowly to the end and how prophecies are being fulfilled in real time. What we have to bear in mind is that the devil is a deceiver. Because the devil is a deceiver, he is using deception in everyday life, in broad daylight, to deceive you and I, to make sure that we don't grasp the truth. When it comes to the matter of the end times, a lot of believers have images of some movies that they have watched, and they think that's how things are going to play out. The devil knows about prophecy. He understands what the Bible has written. He knows it very well. And he makes sure that before anything happens, he throws deception in there to deceive you and I so that we will not be able to grasp the truth that God is trying to reveal to us. The devil will also use the charlatans and throw them in there who will come in with predictions of the rapture and say all kinds of things. Jesus is coming at so and so date, and these things will not come to pass. And the more these things happen, the more people drift away from teachings on the end times or anything that might be truthful, possibly sound like a conjecture, notwithstanding something that is interesting to look at. So we're going to listen to Senator Bernie Sanders. And the reason why we're going to listen to him is because sometimes our pastors don't preach these things in the pulpit. The politicians are aware of a lot of things that is going on. And therefore, every now and then they will spill out some truths that we have to pay attention to. So recently, Senator Bernie Sanders embarked upon a campaign against the dangers of AI. The AI must be regulated. And I want us to listen carefully to some of the things he says. Before we get to what Senator Bernie Sanders said, let's look at the ranks in the Church of Satan. We see that the fifth rank is MAGA or Magus. This is where we get the term magic from. All right. This term also rhymes with the Magi or the MAGA, the people, the entourage that came to visit Jesus when he was born. So I want us to understand this, that things just don't happen by accident. The politicians and the people that rule the world don't just pick words. They know exactly what they are doing. So we see that in the Church of Satan, the highest rank is the term MAGA. So understand, as we watch the television and engage in social media, there is a spirit that has been released to put us to sleep. And that is exactly what is going on. So I trust that this program is a blessing to you. This is actually a modification of the one that I've done recently. I did recently the same thing, but this is a modification. I want to clarify some things as we watch this video. So God bless you richly. Let's go. Satan, and you're going to see the word MAGA there. Let's listen.
Consequential changes are coming, which will impact our economy, our political life, foreign policy, our emotional well-being, our environment, and how we educate and raise our kids. Further, and this is not science fiction, some very knowledgeable people believe that in the not too distant future, a super intelligent AI could replace human beings in controlling the planet. Despite the extraordinary importance of this issue and the speed at which it is progressing, AI is getting far too little discussion in Congress, the media.
Before we get into now, before we continue, we're going to look at this tweet by a president. His name is Nayib Bukele. Some of us might have heard of him. And this is a tweet that he made. It says, "We are birthing superintelligence. We are creating the mind of God, infinite, destined to solve every problem that we've ever faced." Let me read back on here. Destined to solve every problem that we've ever faced and usher in an age without death. Some people would dare to call artificial intelligence God, that we are creating God. We have to understand that this is just beyond the ordinary. Look at what it says here. Can we get it right this time? So there's a mind behind this technology, and we have to take it seriously. I want us to read what it says here in the book of Revelations, chapter number 17, about the 10 kings. After that, we will listen to Senator Bernie Sanders as he will say something very important in the same light about kings, how these tech heads intend to rule as kings of the 18th century. Now, Revelations chapter number 17, the verse number 12 to the verse number 13. The Bible says here, "The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have not received no kingdoms as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast." So who is the beast in question here? The beast that we're looking at here is the beast that rises out of the sea, that has 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that looks like a lion, but has also a leopard kind of look in it, and the feet of a bear, as the Bible describes. This beast in question here is the beast system that we are looking at. The end time system that is the mother of all systems that have attempted to rule the world. This is the beast that crashes with the iron teeth. So this is what we are looking at. And these 10 kings, the Bible says here, they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. We know for sure that though technology is ruling and artificial intelligence is getting to a place that is beyond imagination, God is going to shorten the time, as the Bible has made us aware, that unless the day be shortened, scarcely will any flesh be saved. So it says here, they receive authority for 1 hour. It talks about the brevity of their reign as kings with what? The beast. And it says, these are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. Some of us might have heard of what we call the hive mind. All right, the hive mind. We have to understand it is about collective consciousness, but this is based on technology. Now, according to Senator Bernie Sanders, these tech heads are heavily investing in the infrastructure of artificial intelligence with billions of dollars. And so we have to take cognizance of that this is not just something that is for show. It is something that the Bible has prophesied is going to happen. So they are of one mind, and they give their power to the beast. The beast is going to harness the system and use that in the implementation of the mark of the beast, and also to change the seasons and the times and so on. And that is what we have to pay attention to. All right, let's continue with this video here.
And what does it say here? In the picture that you see, it says, can we get it right this time? Sleep and begin to question some things. So we're going to listen to Senator Sanders. He's going to give us a clue as to who the 10 kings that we have read about in the book of Daniel are. Pay attention and listen to him, because what is going on is open sorcery. It is witchcraft in daylight. So if you want to understand the truth, sometimes you have to listen to the politicians and they will give you the clue.
Again, why do we have to sometimes listen to the politicians? We know for sure that the politicians do lie a lot, but sometimes we have to have open ears, especially when our pastors sometimes refuse to preach about these things, and they normalize things as if we are living in the normal world. And they think that it's a new technology that is also taking us somewhere, just like the computers or the internet. Now, when are we going to look at things and say, hey, it looks like we're going too far? I believe that the time is going to come where we will have to decide how far we want to go into this technological advancement, how far it's going to compromise our walk with God. So if the pastors are not going to preach it, the politicians will give a hint every now and then. Now, I believe that Senator Bernie Sanders, I believe that God is speaking through him, though he might not be a worshiper of God, because the Lord loves us so much. If we are not hearing the truth from the pulpit, then God is going to find a way to get it out. If God used a donkey to speak in the Bible, if God used a raven to feed the man of God, what wouldn't God do? Or what can't he do? He can use even the politicians to alert the church about some things. So let's continue to listen.
Let's listen to him and see what he says.
My staff and I will soon be presenting a very specific set of recommendations as to how we can begin addressing some of the unprecedented threats that AI poses. And as we go forward, here are some of the outstanding questions that, in my view, must be answered. Simple question, and maybe the most important. Who will be in charge of the transformation into an AI world? Currently, a handful of the wealthiest people on Earth, people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel, and others, are investing many hundreds of billions of dollars in developing and implementing AI and robotics. Are we comfortable with seeing these enormously wealthy and powerful men shape the future of humanity without any democratic input or...
I want to pause here and I want to say that some of these tech heads can be changed. For instance, Apple is changing their CEO. Others might change, but it doesn't annul the fact that these are possibilities, that the 10 kings can be tech giants, because these people exert a lot of power. They are more powerful than presidents. They are more powerful than prime ministers. They are technologies that they have created, and the subsidiary companies that serve under them are all over the world, from education to entertainment and music to medicine or healthcare to education to politics or government. Their technology is widely used and they are very powerful. So however we want to look at this, it is not going down well. All right. I believe that these 10 kings are not politicians, but they are the tech heads. As you can see, the Bible says they give their power to the beast. The Bible talks about a second beast that comes from the ground that looks like a lamb, right? Looks like a ram, but speaks like a dragon, right? That points people to the first beast that speaks just like the first beast. I believe that these are the 10 kings that the Bible is talking about here. They are going to give their authority and power to the beast, because the beast cannot rule. The Antichrist, the man of sin, the man of lawlessness, the son of perdition cannot rule without the help of these people. When I say the help, I'm talking about the use of technology. Let us also understand that these people that you see here and whoever will take their place or replace them do not operate in a vacuum. They did not build their companies in a vacuum. They received a lot of financing and a lot of help, the power behind them, strong international bankers behind these people. And they also have some political will. They are not just operating on their own. We have to understand that no matter how their success stories are painted out, let us understand that it is far from the truth. Though they are hardworking people, they are smart, they are innovative, yes. Notwithstanding, they did not get this far on their own. And whatever they do, they don't operate in a vacuum. It is partnership, is hand in hand, because this is how the enemy, the adversary, is harnessing the power to be able to bring the whole world in a place where the mark of the beast will be implemented. So let us put that at the back of our mind. We are not just dealing with just a world system on its own that stands. Satan is highly involved. The Bible calls him the God of this world, or the prince of the power of the air. And if he's the God of this world, then understand that he's well involved in a lot of these things that we are seeing. Though technology is serving a good purpose, let us understand that is how the enemy operates. He takes the good side, and then he uses that to lure us in, and then he corrupts everything. Now today, who can do without technology? Though a time is going to come that we will have to make a decision for God. But let us understand everything we are doing, even including this broadcast, revolves around technology. But a time will come for the people of God to step aside and say that this is how far we are going to go. So let us bear in mind, no matter where you are in the world, people have gotten used to it. Now you swipe your card, you tap, and things are paid. You can even tap your phone to make payments. Things have become so easy. This is how we are lured gradually, and then very soon something else will be introduced. Let us understand that this is where things are going, and we have to stay alert. Let's continue to listen to Senator Bernie Sanders.
Oversight. Why does President Trump, who is strongly supporting their efforts, want to impose an executive order blocking states from regulating AI? What does it mean that Peter Thiel, the billionaire investor and co-founder of Palantir, has called those who want regulations over AI, quote, legionnaires of the Antichrist, end quote? Does this elite group of some of the most powerful people on earth believe that they have the divine right to rule like the kings of the 18th century? The divine right to rule like the kings of the 18th century.
So we heard from the horse's own mouth that these people feel that they have the divine right to rule like the kings of the 18th century. Let's look at what Daniel says here in the book of Daniel 7:24-25. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given unto his hand until a time and times and a dividing of time. If you look on the world scene, there's a mouth that speaks great words, speak all kinds of things. There's a character that fits in here. This character is also in cahoots with the tech giants. He operates with them, travels with them. He has also signed a lot of executive orders for a lot of data centers and so on to be built and AI infrastructure to be developed. So when we look at these things, let us not downplay. The Bible never told us that the son of perdition or the man of sin or the Antichrist is going to be a young man, a charming young man. Is going to be a Muslim. These are all make-believe stories that are thrown into the waters to make it murky and cause us to not see clearly. Also, the enemy has disturbed the atmosphere a lot with all those false prophecies, false prognosticators who come around and talk about rapture happening this day and the world ending this day and so on. This is the trick of the enemy. He does that so we can stay far away from issues of the end times. Yes, the teachings on the end times can be very tricky because God knows exactly what he's doing. But he has given us the word. It's a puzzle. God knows that we're going to have difficulty in unveiling everything, but everything is in there. He does not give us the specificities as to certain things that are mentioned there. But if we stay carefully and stay in scripture, we can see that there's been a falling away. People have given their heart. Bible-believing Christians and globally worldwide Christians have all accepted, not all of them, but majority have accepted a certain personality in the world as this person is chosen of God to do so and so. But things are beginning to turn a little bit. Some are coming out of the darkness and are beginning to examine scripture carefully. And they are beginning to see some interesting development that this person can be a candidate of what has been written in the Bible. Again, the Bible didn't give us his age. The Bible never told us he's going to be a charming person, a young man. The Bible never said that people are going to love the man of sin. So people wandered after the beast, all right, that was not, but is, and shall descend into perdition, and so on. People will wander, and the Bible talks about that. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to follow. Sometimes the language means that we are already doing it indirectly, paying homage, giving our services and worship to a system indirectly without even us knowing. So we have to understand the obvious is what we must guard against, because we are all waiting for something to happen and then we'll begin to say, oh, this is what the Bible said. But it's being fulfilled in real time. So these 10 kings, people will tell you, oh, they're going to divide the world into 10 regions. I don't doubt that. What is going on here on my part is also a conjecture, but I believe that it's leaning more towards the tech heads than world leaders or world rulers, because all of them are controlled by technology. None of them can be voted into power without the use of technology. Every one of them is engaged with social media or using a media form one way or the other. And so I believe that these tech heads are the ones that are really very powerful people, and we have to take cognizance of that. And so we see what Daniel says here. We also see what Revelations talk about here in Revelation 17. The horn, 10 horns that you saw, 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. So we see what the Bible has written delusion about the 10 kings. There is the spirit
of delusion that the Lord has released.
Now let's go on and listen.
The world and the church, that we believe the lie. So the politicians will speak the truth every now and then. We have to listen carefully, listen attentively to the clues that they are given. And Senator Sanders has given us the clue as spoken about in Daniel, who the 10 kings are going, and just shove it under the corner. The world is prying into dangerous territory. This is what is going to bring in the tribulation. This is what is going to wear the saints out. Read Daniel 7:24 and 25. This is what is going to usher in the end of the age. And so let us wake up. It's about time that we wake out of sleep and stop just listening and following things. Question the spirit behind it. It has been prophesied and has been fulfilled in real time. God bless you. I will see you again another time. Shalom to you.
That's one question. Another question. What impact will AI and robotics have on our economy and the lives of working people? And I can tell you, Mr. President, as somebody who has spoken to groups all over this country, that working people today are very, very nervous about what AI and robotics will mean to them. The report that my staff and I released last month found that AI, automation, and robotics could lead to nearly the loss of 100 million jobs in America over the next decade, including 40% of registered nurses, 47% of truck drivers, 64% of accountants, 65% of teaching assistants, and 89% of fast food workers. In other words, what we're going to see is AI and robotics impacting not just blue-collar workers, but white-collar workers as well. Mr. President, Elon Musk recently said, and I quote, that AI and robots will replace all jobs. Working will be optional, end of quote. Mr. Musk is investing hundreds of billions of dollars into AI and robotics. I suspect he knows something about what he is talking about. Let me repeat. Elon Musk, quote, AI and robots will replace all jobs. Working will be optional, end quote. Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft, predicted that humans, quote, won't be needed for most things, end quote. Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, warned that AI could lead to the loss of half of all entry-level white-collar jobs. Mr. President, if AI and robotics eliminate millions of jobs and create massive unemployment, how will people survive if they have no income? How do they feed their families, pay for housing, pay for health care? That might be an issue that we should be talking about like yesterday. Further, Mr. President, what impact will AI have on our democracy? Some of us, maybe not all, here in